What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. We've got a few days still to go towards the match at Anfield, so I thought we may as well catch up on all the latest stuff that's been happening. So we're doing a transfer news update here for what's been happening with Manchester City. So we're going to crack on with the video. So first up, we're going to be talking about Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz is still apparently no closer to signing a new deal. That is according to Pep Guardiola, so you can't get much more official than that one. We all want Brahim Diaz on a new deal, let's be fair. So hopefully that'll get sorted soon from Manchester City's point of view, because he's a wonderful young player, and it doesn't set out the right message, in my opinion, to all the other young players when you're letting quality young players like Brahim Diaz leave on a free contract for nothing. So hopefully we can get that sorted, because my fear is that once January comes along, he'll start talking to other clubs, because obviously he's allowed to once there's less than 6 months remaining on his deal, which takes us into right at the end of December, 31st of December, into January marks that point, and he can talk to other clubs. So we need to get that one sorted hopefully soon. Not good signs at the moment. Next up, we'll have a deal with more of another contract, and this time it's with Vincent Kompany. Pep says he wants Vincent Kompany on a new deal as well. He's got his testimonial coming in August. That's to mark 10 seasons at Manchester City. Brilliant achievement from Vincent Kompany. So it makes sense to put him on a 12-month extension. Game time for Vincent Kompany is probably going to become less and less as the years go on for Manchester City. Unfortunately, Man City will be looking towards younger, not better players, but players that are in going more into their prime, whereas Vincent Kompany's coming towards the end of his career, so he'll be used more as like a player of rotation at Manchester City rather than a first team starter like someone like Laporte, who started near enough every game at Manchester City. So Man City will look for loyalty to get 12 months out of him, maybe 2 years. I don't think we'll see much more beyond Vincent Kompany of that one. I'm almost certain, though, that if Vincent Kompany decides to retire from there and wants to remain at Manchester City, he will. Or if he decides to leave at some point, he'll then be employed by Manchester City, or at least I hope so, because Man City owe that to him for his extreme loyalty. He's a very clever man, and I'm sure Man City could find him some kind of role to be involved with the club, because, let's face it, Vincent Kompany represents everything that Manchester City stands for. He's a leader, he leads by example, he's a fantastic professional, and he's taken Manchester City from, not low, but taken Man City from the mixed of mid-table / lower parts of the Premier League right to the very top best team in the Premier League and breaking records. He deserves it from Manchester City, in my opinion. Next up, we've got some lies from Alan Nixon on Twitter, who's normally quite reliable. I wrote this down thinking this might be a bit interesting, but it turns out it's a lie. But I'll tell it you anyway, because you know, everyone needs cheering up on a Thursday morning / afternoon. But City were monitoring the Mbappe situation at PSG, and Manchester City, according to Alan Nixon, was preparing to make a £200 million bid for him in January, if financial fair play regulations rule that PSG have to sell him to make means end. And if Man City were to launch that £200 million bid, we'd have to then sell one star. Who that star was, I thought, is that going to be Aguero, who just signed a new contract? It can't possibly be. Is it going to be Leroy Sané? Is it going to be Raheem Sterling? Is it going to be Kevin De Bruyne? God help us. But Pep said in his press conference, he shot down all the rumours, saying it's just been made up. He doesn't know where people get these things from, but no stars will be sold by Manchester City, including, he made sure he specifically said, including Raheem Sterling, which is good to see. Next up, a little bit of an interesting one if you like tracking Manchester City youngsters. Tuttosport in Italy have been saying that Juventus have been keeping tabs on Jadon Sancho at Borussia Dortmund, former Manchester City youngster, and also Phil Foden at Manchester City. Man City, however, will not sell, so it makes that one pretty much impossible, and I imagine Sancho, Dortmund would be willing to sell. However, Borussia Dortmund would require a very large fee. I couldn't imagine Juventus paying such money for that one. Jadon Sancho this week has signed a new deal at Borussia Dortmund until 2022, and Manchester City are hoping to close in on a new deal for Phil Foden soon too. So that'd be great news to wade off interest there. Maybe, just put this out there, it's a rumour being made up by both of their agents to get them onto new deals. It's worked for Sancho. Will it work for Phil Foden? Just, you know, always got to be box smart about these things. Next up, and an interesting one, this one, Man City's under-19s played Hoffenheim under-19s in the UEFA Youth Champions League game, when we played Hoffenheim, obviously, on Tuesday. And one of the players that came off the bench for Hoffenheim under-19s and scored a goal was Lamm Keys. Is that how you say his name? I hope that's how you say his name. But he came on, made an impressive cameo for Hoffenheim. Ended up seeing them win the game. I think it was 5-2. So Manchester City now apparently are interested in signing him. It's amazing how scouts work when you're watching players against your team. I presume Man City were alerted to the interest of how good some of the Monaco players were when we played them in the Champions League. It seems to work in the same way in the youth as well. Nice bit of scouting there, but that was according to sources in Israel and also Sport Bild in Germany. So there's obviously more that meets the eye with that one. So we'll keep an eye on them developments over the coming weeks if we end up getting any developments. So make sure that you stay tuned for that one. Next up, MEN are reporting that Manchester City want to step up their interest in Serbia and Lazio midfielder Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Very interesting one, this one. I was debating whether making a separate video on this one because I feel like this is probably the most likely transfer that we might have in January. Him, maybe Rabiot or someone like that are the two most interested parties for joining Manchester City. They don't play for huge top clubs in Europe. Rabiot does play for a very large club in PSG, but PSG, he's falling down the pecking order, and you feel like PSG, if he won't sign a new deal, will want to sell him in January. And Milinkovic-Savic plays for Lazio, and obviously, because he's not playing for teams like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and all them players that would get linked with them players, you feel like a deal could be made. It'd be expensive, but if Man City are scouting him, watching him, and MEN are reporting that they're stepping up their interest, then that tells me that they're making, putting the stepping stones in progress. Deals take months to complete, by the way. They don't just start in the transfer window and end in the transfer window. You've got to do all of the background stuff first. Is the player good enough for Manchester City? What will he bring? You've got to gather all your information before you end up finding out your interest. You've got to talk to the club, find out how, if the player's interested in joining you first and foremost. You've got to speak to their agent. You've got to speak to the club, find out how much they want for him. Is there room for negotiations and things like that? So it's a very interesting, exclusive, that one. But Sergej Milinkovic-Savic could well be the step forward for Manchester City in that little hole that we've got in midfield, where we've got a little vacancy waiting for someone to play in central defence and midfield. And central midfield is Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, that man. Let me know what you think of that in the comments below. And last but not least, very quickly, Shamrock Rovers have confirmed that goalkeeper Gavin Bazoo, who we've mentioned him previously in other transfer updates, the 16-year-old goalkeeper, has been confirmed by Shamrock Rovers now. As everyone's already expected, he has signed a pre-contracted agreement with Manchester City to join next summer, so he'll join the Manchester City youth team. So best of luck to Gavin when he does join us next summer. Nice to have you on board. There we go, that's been the video. Like I said, let me know what you think of Milinkovic-Savic's link with Manchester City in the comments below. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, that you leave a big thumbs up so I know that you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comments below with all of these transfer stories, not just Milinkovic-Savic too. And also don't forget to make sure that if you are interested in more content, we've got Man City news coming up tomorrow. We've got all the previews, reviews, analysis, all the other stuff, more transfer updates and things like that, requested videos, etc, etc. We've got plenty of content to come, so if you are interested and you're enjoying the videos, make sure that you do subscribe, put your push notifications on. That would be brilliant. We're aiming for 2,000 subscribers before the year is out. We're on 1,460 at the moment of me recording this video, so it would be ace to get to 1,500 ASAP, and then we can push on for the big 200. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Social media links in the description below. Second channel and partner channel, but link them up at the end of the video. Go and check them out. Like and subscribe over there. Share this video if you did enjoy the video. And don't forget to go and check out my other football videos too. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the latest news before we end up building up at the weekend towards the huge game at Anfield for Liverpool versus Manchester City. So I'll see you all then. Plenty of Man City and football videos to come. I'll see you all again very soon. So JSGC, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.